Welcome back to Crown Chats and to another bonus episode of footage from previous interviews never before seen. So in this first clip, we hear from Elijah Malcomb, triple threat, Broadway veteran of the Hamilton tour of 5 years, as well as the fan favorite runner-up of a recent holiday competition reality show. Elijah tells a story of when he was rehearsing for Hamilton's Broadway tour that they had a special guest in the audience for that particular day that also had some choice reading material.
Yeah, so I actually toured. It was a Broadway contract and a Broadway production, but I wasn't like here in New York, like in the Richard Rodgers.
Yes.
But yeah, it was 5 years, and it was a great time. We actually played some houses that are bigger than Broadway houses, so but
Not bragging, just tell them the truth. It's okay.
no, but it's incredible because a lot of people can't get to New York to see these shows, and especially a show like Hamilton is so important because a lot of kids that like look like me and are people of color don't really usually see themselves in a space like theater in that way, and so to be able to take that across the country and for it to be a story about the birth of our nation and like really include everybody, no matter what your background, where you come from, was just so important to me. And the fact that the music is fantastic, like the story is fantastic.
Yeah.
Lin is literally a genius, and I just would love to see how his brain works. I actually have a really funny story about Lin. Speaking of, when we were in rehearsals, he would sneak in every now and then to just kind of like sit in on rehearsals. And one time, it was just after the new year in 2018, and we're on a break. He had snuck in that day, and he's sitting there at the table with this giant red book. And so I turned to my friend Kyle Scatliff, who was playing Loft Jeff at the time, and I was like, Kyle, is Lin reading the dictionary? Like, what is that? Like, and he was like, I don't know, ask him. So I was like, Lin, are you reading the dictionary? Like, what are you reading? And he just chuckles and he goes, no, my New Year's resolution was to read all of Shakespeare. And I was just like, of course it was, because only somebody who with the mind to make something like this would really sit down and want to read all of Shakespeare.
Maybe that's a teaser of the next project he has coming, and
Could be.
maybe he's
Who knows?
blind and he's just teasing you in the process of like, I need a leading man. And in this next clip with Elijah, we not only manifest some potential musical collaborations on screen he could have, but also we get some tea on a secret new project he has coming soon. So I was even thinking, like, I don't know if you have a project coming in the future, but they should pitch something at this point, because certain networks have dabbled in like TV musicals, like we had like the Dream Moms and some of those last year, but we haven't had a male-led musical, like a Love on Broadway or something like that. Like, maybe we need to get together and like pitch that, because I think you're missing out. I'm just saying, we got the experience here. But
yeah, absolutely. I would love to do something of that nature. I definitely feel like it's a market that hasn't been explored yet, and there's so much there that could possibly be explored, and also open theater up to like a whole new community. Yeah, I currently have something else in the works right now that I can't talk about just yet, so just keep your eyes peeled and stay tuned for more. It's going to be really, really exciting. And I'm excited to step into another new experience, and can't wait to share that with everybody.
sounds like we'll have to have you back on to talk about all of that when you're allowed to.
Yes, I would love to come back on, sit down and just chat with you.
Yeah. Our next clip comes from Jenny of Dressing Festive, in which she gives in more detail about the style boards and couture collections she's acquired over the years, and how that's made quite a difference in the lives both of her and of her customer.
But I've been toying with doing dupes, like Amazon dupes, because some of the stuff that they wear is expensive for the average person. Not everyone's going to buy a $400 Ted Baker white coat because it's just not practical. So it's like, okay, but if you could buy the Amazon version for $100 and recreate the whole outfit, I mean, why wouldn't you? So I actually have a lot of really cool pieces that were seen in the movies, even ones from like really old movies, like It's a Wonderful Life. Not It's a Wonderful Life. The Most Wonderful Time of the Year. That would be crazy if I had a piece from It's the Wonderful Life. So I've collected these pieces and I resell them to people who want to own them. I had a daughter actually buy. I don't know if you guys will remember this, but true Hallmark fans will. Brooke Burns wears this really like beautiful bell sleeve, houndstooth, like cropped jacket when like there's that whole bike scene. I don't know if you remember that in that movie. And so I found that actual jacket and I sold it to this daughter who was going to gift it to her mom, who that was just like her favorite movie. So I still dabble in that a lot. I don't do it a ton, but you'll see on my Instagram and Facebook pages, I'll throw up style guides for any movie that I think has a lot of style elements to it. Like I always think Bethany Joy Lenz always has like the best outfit. So I always do one for her movies. Lacey always has the best outfits. I think she gets dressed a lot by the Wardrobe Girls. If you don't follow them, you should totally follow them. And it's just kind of fun. That's more of a hobby for me. It's more of something that I love to do.
And our last clip comes from synthetic cinema producer Andrew Gernhard. Andrew is a huge sci-fi fan and talks a little bit more about his specific interests and where his fandom has gone for specific films and characters, but also how there could be potential for more similar storylines coming in the future at Hallmark.
Maybe Hallmark will get a little bit more into some magic and some time travel because Hallmark loves time travel. I don't know how far they'll push into science fiction. I'm also kind of a science fiction. I don't know if is it a snob or I only like certain brands. Like, I love Doctor Who. Doctor Who's my favorite, science fiction. I'd love to watch more Star Trek, but for some reason I don't. I subscribe to every network but the Paramount network. Sorry, Paramount. I do watch all the Star Wars when I can, though I am getting a little bit bored of them. But I do watch what I can. And I'm a big, I hate to say it, but I'm a big superhero fan. But there's been some terrible ones and some great ones lately. When I go for entertainment, I really go for entertainment that I can just kind of shut my brain off and watch. That's why I kind of like superhero movies and like, science fiction. So I don't go for the really in-depth movies personally, because I like to just say, okay, we're going to have fun. We're going to see the Hulk destroy some buildings. And oddly enough, I love giant monster movies like Godzilla and like that. I forget which is the one, you might know this more than I, the big droids that people get into and they connect and they fight giant monsters, kaijus. It's in the future. They've done 2 movies and they have an animated series. Oh, a big famous director did it. But there's, I do love, regardless, I love big monsters destroying, cities and fighting with giant robots. It's a weird thing, but I do like that kind of stuff because it's the spectacle of all it is. I think it's fun. I'm looking forward to the new Superman movie. I'm looking forward to the Fantastic Four, that retro kind of 1960s superhero thing, which I think Marvel needs. So, I just like fun popcorn entertainment.
Absolutely. And hey, it sounds like maybe if Hallmark wanted to try something different around Halloween time, we'd have the right producer with the best idea. Because
yeah, they did. They tried some ghost things and they worked really well. I didn't do them, but besides Ghost of Christmas Always, which was also kind of fun and leaning into that. But they have done some Halloween stuff, and you never know. Hallmark is always evolving, but still keeping with their brand, because Hallmark is such a strong brand that their people connect to, and I think they just have to make sure they stay within that box of that brand.
And that wraps up another episode of Crown Chats and another bonus edition with content never before seen from previous interviews. We have so many more exciting guests coming in the future, and I can't wait to share all of the interviews with you. But you don't want to miss out, so you got to make sure you like and subscribe to this YouTube channel and follow me, Haley, at Crown the Halls on Instagram. And don't forget, we also have our Crown the Halls and Crown Shouts merch now available. The link for that is in the bio of this YouTube episode, as well as on the Dressing Festive website and my Instagram bio as well. So, until next time, you'll be rocking your styles, of course, but wear your crown. Your crown may tilt, may never fall. You are beautiful and you are strong.